All right, so now we're going to talk about firms that are competitive, but when they're in the long run. Before we get into the math, I want to talk about the theory a little bit. When these firms are thinking of whether or not to stay in business, they're really going to think about their profits, right? So in our example, we had negative profits, so I'm going to start there. And although we have freedom of entry and exit in competitive markets, we can't always exit in the short run because we have a fixed input and a fixed cost. So, like, that might be our lease. We have to wait out the entire time for the lease to expire, and then we can exit if we want to do that. So, in the long run, we can adjust, we can leave the market. So negative profit is going to lead to firms leaving. Now we have less firms. The supply for the market decreases, and that leads to prices increasing and profit increasing as well. And then if we get a positive profit in the long run, well, firms are going to enter. Remember, there is perfect information in the economy. So everyone knows how much profit people are making. And so some people thinking about getting into business here are going to say, oh, the smuck is able to do it and make positive profits, so can I. So firms are going to enter the market. That causes the supply curve to increase, which ends up leading to lower prices and also lower profits for each firm. Now, this adjustment's going to go on. People end up being in the long run at different times. So some people are going to be leaving and exiting. And this can obviously go on for a while, but we say, or we want to say, that there's an equilibrium in the long run. And that happens where, well, we know price is equal to marginal revenue. That's still the same. But this is also equal to the minimum average cost, that minimum value. Now, why is that? Well, now profit in the long run, or in this case, is just zero. No one wants to really leave the market now. Remember, we're talking about economic profit. So we're thinking about all the things that you could be doing, the opportunity costs, and there's nothing better for you to do out there, out in the other worlds where you can do other things. And no one wants to enter because they know that they enter, we're going to get lower profits. So we have an equilibrium where no one's entering or exiting. And we also have profit equal to zero. Well, now, if we want to figure out some things like the price in the long run and how much firms are wanting to sell, well, we need to first find the minimum average cost. So first, you remember finding a minimum average cost, or like average variable. That's when we always set marginal cost equal to average cost. Marginal cost crosses average cost, where average cost is at a minimum. So marginal cost from before, we're using the same formula, was just Q plus 4. And then in the short run, we did look at average variable cost. So average cost is going to look the same. Starts off with 0.5 Q plus 4. But then we also need to add in 162 over Q. right? Because we know that for the total average cost, we keep in any fixed costs. So now let's simplify. The 4's go away. We can subtract 0.5, 1/2 Q on both sides. We're left with 1/2 Q equals 162 over Q. Bring the Q on the other side. 1.5 Q squared equals 162. You have to watch your decimals. So we're dividing by 0.5. You should put this right in your calculator as I'm writing it or as I'm saying it. This is 162 over 0.5. And we're going to be left with Q squared equals 324. Take the square root of both sides. Q just equals 18. So now this is the quantity in the long run, but we still need to find the price. So we can plug this either into the marginal cost or average cost to get the price. You might want to look at which one looks easiest. If either one of these is going to give you the same answer, but marginal cost is much, much simpler. So from marginal cost, we have 18 plus 22. This is the price, or plus 4. I was thinking too far ahead. 18 plus 4 is 22, which equals the price in the long run. And sometimes we just add in long run here under the price and quantity. And that's going to be where the market stays for a while at least. Other things can shift this, other shocks, but right now it's going to stay constant. So now we want to know how many firms should be in this market. And part of it's going to be based on the market demand. Remember, the demand was 820 minus 5p. Well, we can get the quantity just by plugging in our $22 in for price. So put that here. And we end up getting the quantity demanded in the market, 710. And you know, at equilibrium, this also equals the quantity supplied. So altogether, the market will produce and sell $710 or 10 units. So now we want to think about the number of firms. We used an equation that was market quantity over the number of firms before to find the firm's supply or firm's amounts of quantity. So we can use just market quantity over little q because we already know that, or we can put long run here. And that's 710. And we found that each firm creates 18 units, and find that this equals about 39 firms. You can round even if it doesn't make too much sense, in theory, because you can't have like half a firm or 0.4 of a firm. But we'd say it's just about 39, and that's fine. So this market has the price of 22. The firms each sell 18 units, and that satisfies the market. I'm not going to go through it, but as you can imagine, if you found the profit here, it would just equal 0. You can try that yourself. All right, that's it. Hope you're doing well, and if you need anything, let me know.